Soul initiations. What do you think? Are they a gift or a curse? We're going to explore this right now. What is an initiation? And we are, especially in these times, being given initiations constantly. And you could think of an initiation as a challenge. It's like a threshold that we come to. It's an opportunity to step into something. Now, there used to be a time when initiations were honored as rituals, like rites of passage, where the span of the life was honored in such a way that the human experience of psychic and soul and spiritual biological development was openly spoken about in community, in villages. And the elders would provide rituals for each person to be able to be honored as they enter into a new phase. So it was called a rite of passage. So these things are missing, but they're coming back in a lot of different ways. And we see this all over the place with earth-based rituals, specifically women's rituals, men's rituals. I hear a lot about that lately, and I also perform them myself. So what I want to talk about is how when we don't have the opportunity to honor a rite of passage, to actually step through one with witnesses, with support, the challenge can begin to feel like it's a curse. And rather than stepping into it, we can turn away from it, step away from it. But the wonderful thing is that our souls and the intelligence of the spirit, who we are within our bodies, really wants us to develop, wants us to be initiated, wants us to have a rite of passage, wants us to pass through different thresholds, because our soul knows that initiation is not something to be turned away from. It is a gift. And from the beginning, we may not see it as a gift because it's unknown. We're always stepping into something unknown. Like we don't know what the next phase is going to look like. Like a boy doesn't know what adulthood looks like. A girl doesn't know from maiden to mother what that's going to look like. And it never happens all at once. But the naming of it and the witnessing of it can provide different supports and energies for the soul to feel that embodiment of something that's really critical for its blossoming, for its gift to be recognized. Because the gift comes in the passing through the threshold, which sometimes feels like an underground journey and with a dark period, a lot of shedding and sorting and discerning. All kinds of exercises are performed, not always consciously, but unconscious material is coming into consciousness so that you can see it, you can sort it, you can clean it, you can heal it, you can choose to, oh, this I don't need anymore, I have outgrown it. Or, I see that it had served me at one point, but it isn't anymore. So it gets left behind on the other side of the threshold. And then still we're moving forward, we're entering into something, and we don't know yet what it is. It's almost like when you're pregnant with a child, you don't have any idea what that child is really going to look like. You may have an idea, a sense because of biology, but the soul and the personality and the archetypes that being carries are still unknown. And then we get to be in the mystery of the uncovering of that as we attend to that gift. Like a birth is a gift. To be born anew is a gift. And how that gift blooms and blossoms depends very much and how we nourish it, how we water it, how much sun we give it, just exactly like a plant. Like you see here in the background, like if it didn't receive nourishment and sunlight and care, it would wilt and die, and the gift of it would no longer be able to be recognized. It would not be strong. So thresholds are very important. I think of initiations and thresholds as being very similar. And when we have this initiation through a threshold that sometimes, like I said, is a tunnel, and then something is dying and something is being birthed anew. And there's so much I could say about this, but it's a precious time right now. We're in the spring, and I know many of you that listen to my videos or come to my retreats or have private sessions with me, been on my courses and those kinds of things. You know that we experience this directly, and everybody is witness and gets to receive support in this kind of shedding that happens in the wintering, in the quiet, in the dark. And sometimes we can feel like we're in the dark for a very long time, and we can feel like, oh no, not another challenge, not another initiation, like why me? And when we get into that why me, like really another, and it's okay to have that. It doesn't mean it's resistance. It's human. It's human to say, wait a minute, I think I've done enough growing for now. I think I've been challenged enough. And can you just like give me something easy? Yeah. And it's all right to be kind of in that argument with what is for a little bit. And eventually that will soften, because the initiation will wait for us. That threshold will always be there, because our soul is in continuous growth, continuous development, continuous gift. And when we do not return back, then this is a whole nother topic. But then what we can carry with us is shadow, because that initiation, that threshold, that rite of passage is a shedding also of unconscious material, that if it doesn't have its opportunity to be seen, for what it is, and to be dismantled, to be set down, just to be brought into consciousness. That's the passing over, is bringing something into consciousness, full awareness of how these tendencies may have operated kind of in the background, so they don't control behavior. They don't control like how it is that engagement with life happens. Yeah. And instead, more light, more energy is freed up to be the gift that you've been given, that is continuously presenting itself, perhaps a different from an angle, from a different perspective. Like the perspective is continuously clarifying itself. Like we never see everything all at once, right? Like over time, we see more and more and more, especially if we're willing. And can begin, like as we get older and we're in this process of development, then we do start to have more of an eagle's view, more of the see it all. I'm like, wow, yeah, now I get it. Now I get why that needed to happen, and that needed to happen, and that needed to happen, so that I could strengthen this, so I could shed this, so I could become more aware and discriminate in this way. All of the things that we psychically need, or so this could heal, that could mend, so that I could have the strength and the courage to approach a particular situation and perhaps make amends, or be soft, to come to something with loving kindness. I had an experience the other day, or maybe it was last week, and a woman came to me who's been with me for quite a long time in retreats and in different things. And she had a concern about a particular person like myself, who's been a teacher and facilitates retreats and, works with people. And she was concerned about the dynamics, how they were playing out. And maybe she wanted me to do something about it, maybe not, but I don't do things for other people. Like, always when something comes to us, that's our opportunity to learn and to grow. And it might mean that we pause with the situation for a while and let it reveal more of itself, so that we can see, what am I projecting onto this? What is actual, what is mine to attend to, and what is not? So it's hard work to call back your projections, to like bring back into yourself, and then feel in the heart, in the body, in the gut, what wants to happen. So I just made a suggestion that in our humanity, I think all of us are greatly appreciative when somebody comes to us and with this generosity of kindness, to say something to the effect of, dear so-and-so, I have been noticing this, and I'm wondering about this, and I'm concerned that maybe, and also I'm aware that I may be projecting something onto this. So I'm wishful and curious if we could have a conversation about it. Personally, for myself, if there was a concern about me in any area of my life, and I have many different roles that I play, if somebody were to come to me with that degree of kindness and generosity, like, how much care is within that to assist a person in their growth? Like, we all at different times can have blind spots. It doesn't mean that we're consciously putting them there or refusing to even look at them. Because when something is unconscious, it's unconscious until it's conscious. And everything doesn't come into consciousness all at once. Now, there are some people that perhaps they have a strong enough container of their body and of their ground, of their connection to the earth, like really a groundedness, that they can receive a certain degree of energy where there is a great degree of consciousness moving through, that the unconsciousness may be fairly integrated or dissolved, or however you want to frame that. I think that there's probably people like that. In fact, I do know a few people like that. And what a great mirror they can be. But that doesn't mean perfection. Like, we are not in a program. Like, conscious development isn't about becoming a perfect person. It's about being able to be in a growth process, like to be able to process, especially paradox, unconscious, conscious, dark, light, good, bad, all the different things that happen. Well, I am Prajna, and I think that is more than enough. And I love working with unconscious material through dreams. I'm very focused, have been my entire life, on soul development, not always calling it that, but it's something that has called my attention from a very young age. And it may be the same for you. So you can listen through your dreams for how your soul is speaking to you, through metaphor, voice, even symbols. The dream maker is your higher self, whatever you want to call that, God, goddess, it doesn't matter. but it's information, very useful information that is delivered to you every night like a love letter. And then it's up to us if we want to open that and not right away go to interpretation or take it literally, but just kind of like, sit with it, write it down, put it in a book where you journal all your other things. And it's a process. And I wish it to you. And I wish you a wonderful opening spring. I think that the first day of spring just happened. And yeah, enjoy nature. Make sure you get outside. I started night walks in the moonlight, and it's just so restorative. So let yourself connect with nature. Go around and notice the buds. You know, that we have the beginning of the buds sprouting right now, or some, depending on where you're located on this planet, it might be different for everyone. We are already seeing, many tulips and marigolds, many things are coming up around here. So enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. And I love to hear from you. So like, subscribe, and take good care of yourself. Did I say describe? Subscribe. Thank you.